Hey there, it's Ray, and welcome to the In a Nutshell series where I try to make short summaries of games and other media. For this video, we're doing Adventure Forward Star Savior, a Roblox game released in 2014. I will not be mentioning the name of the creator for various reasons. This game is the first installment of the Adventure Forward series, which was followed by Adventure Forward 2 Points of Conflict 3 years later. There were plans for a third game, albeit without the involvement of the series' original creator, but the game was cancelled and rebranded into a new game called Stars Align, which is currently in development. I might try to do an In a Nutshell video on that game when it comes out, but until then, I'll only do the Adventure Forward duology, starting with the first one. The game starts outside the gates of Maytown. You, the Star Savior, walk towards a Robloxian who informs you that the night sky is not doing very well. This is because an entity named Stratosphere knocked the stars out of the sky, locking doors so that they can have them all for themselves. You go to Whistling Woods, where you help the Whistles restore the forest by obtaining the Seed of Life. Now, to me, every single quest and star are irrelevant to the plot, but very crucial to the game's progress. When you finally get into Maytown, you meet the mayor, Maynot, who congratulates you. He then asks you to do him a favor and open the rest of the gates. Regarding the aforementioned quests and stars, you can do many things, such as find an ancient artifact for an explorer, fetch some sunscreen for a lady at the beach, give a golden ticket to a rich guy, fight and concuss a madman, and listen to the classics on an ageless jukebox. There are 2 stars that are likely to be relevant to the game's plot and the series in its entirety. One involves you time traveling 30 years into the past, where you are confronted by a Robloxian telling you to stay out of the clock tower as it is under construction. Here you meet Julio Maynot, who is the mayor of Maytown. Well, 30 years ago at least. The mayor of present Maytown is actually Julio's son, Mason, shown here in the past as a child. You can also find a Robloxian giving out time capsules. These time capsules play a very important part in getting one of the stars. The other star involves you time traveling 30 years into the future, where it is shown that just about everyone left Maytown, which is now depicted as desolate, the once lively fountain now destroyed. A hopeless Robloxian tells you that Stratosphere caused mayhem in Maytown. Another Robloxian wants to know what the world was like before the mayhem. If you have the time capsule you obtained from 30 years in the past, you can give the capsule to this Robloxian in exchange for a star. However, this star is not the other star that I'm talking about. The other star is in the broken fountain. After doing a lot of stuff, you come across a rich guy in Maytown who was having the worst time ever, as Stratosphere had interrupted his settling into a new home and put up a gate. You unlock the gate to Shadow Hill and climb your way to Stratosphere and fight them. Bro, Stratosphere was a pain to defeat. When I first got to this boss fight, I had no actual idea what I was even doing. But yeah, you defeat them and escape the morbid world. You end up in Maytown, where its mayor and residents are having a festival in celebration of you saving their town. However, one Robloxian has a theory that is particularly concerning, suggesting that Stratosphere might have been just your average Robloxian. And now, you're probably wondering, the game ends right there, right? It's over. The adventure should be over after the festival. Well, yes, but also not really. There's actually another ending you can get after getting 79 stars. This is the true ending of the game. After the festival, you go to the very first gate that you unlock throughout your journey, which is now locked again. If you have 51 stars, you can open it. When you go through the gate, you are met with a desolate version of the starting area outside Maytown, with the tutorial building and Whistling Woods being blocked off. However, there's a door behind the tutorial building that leads to a new place, where a Robloxian greets you with needless contempt. He informs you that you're in Trap Town. 2 other Robloxians seem much more friendly, with one saying that you can visit them anytime via a blue boat, and another welcoming you to their town. You walk up the stairs of Trap Town, where Blue Band, the town's mayor, greets you and notices you as a Star Savior. However, a Robloxian nearby states that he feels cold around Blue Band, feeling that something isn't right. Additionally, one Robloxian in the Judgment Hall is much less forgiving, stating that you have most likely caused the apocalypse and refers to you as the Star Stealer. Now, some of you might think that this Robloxian is a real piece of work, but I assure you he has a reason to believe this. More on that later. You now have to collect red stars. Once you've collected all 28 of them, you go back to Trap Town and approach Mayor Blue Band, who greets you again. Now, you may think that there's something different about him. You are absolutely correct. The badge on the right side of his chest is now red, as opposed to it being white before you got the red stars. Both versions of the badge are shaped like an X, now who also has a red X as an insignia. Blue Band's response to you getting the red stars is extremely cynical, and still ignoring your question of how he knows about the red X, he now sees you as a threat to all of them. He then decides to reward you with one last star, now referring to you as Stratosphere. Now, why does he refer to you, the Star Savior, as Stratosphere, the one who locked all of the doors in order to steal all of the stars? Well, here's what I think. You stole all of the stars. You may have unlocked the doors, yes, but that doesn't change the fact that you took the stars. You are Stratosphere, or rather, you have become Stratosphere. You are the Star Stealer, and that Judgment Hall Robloxian was absolutely right. The arch behind him suddenly starts glowing an ominous red in the middle. You go through the glow and end up in a long room with multiple statues on both sides. A voice congratulates you for managing to make it this far and states that you will once again be free, annihilating the fourth wall by removing your menu and graying out the reset button. You are then basically informed that when you touch the star, the game ends. As soon as you touch it, the star turns white and floats up into the air. The game ends with you being engulfed in a pillar of light as the spikes surrounding you go down into the ground and statues spin around you rapidly. As soon as the pillar of light disappears, it cuts to black screen and text fades into view reading end of the line. The true ending was actually different before sometime in early 2021. Everything in the ending was the same of course, but there was only one difference. When you attain the final star, the screen suddenly gets darker and darker as several creepy images flash on the screen, which in my opinion makes for an effectively unsettling ending. You then get kicked out of the game with end of the line as the error text. This is personally my favorite version of the ending due to how effective it is in giving me chills. The new ending is still good in my honest opinion, and it actually made me jump when I first witnessed it, but there's something about the old ending that always gets me shivering every time I see it. I can definitely see why they changed it though, it's for photosensitivity reasons. Anyways guys, this has been In a Nutshell. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you next time.